Aerialbots, come in. Roadbuster has successfully disabled the anti-air defenses. Our orders from Optimus himself are to strike the Decepticon supply line fast and hard. Firefly, circle around these coordinates and attack the perimeter defenses. Powerglide is assisting in this operation and will be joining you shortly. Firefly, stay focused. Silverbolt out.
Huh? What was that? Oh, right. Attack the supply base. Sorry, I got distracted by the beautiful skyline here. It's a shame we have to fight each other, Decepticons. It'd be so much nicer to just sit and stare at a campfire. But I have a job to do. And apparently so do you. Fire sure is pretty. Okay, there are more of you than I expected. I might be in a bit of trouble here. Only I had someone to back me up. Alright, hi guys, Brian here, and today I want to give you my impressions of the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Firefly. And this is the ship captained by Captain Malcolm Reynolds and piloted by Wash. No, wait, wrong Firefly. Oh, too soon. In case you didn't know, Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion are doing a Kickstarter for a series called Con Man on Indiegogo. You might want to go check that out. But anyway, on the toy itself. Here he is in vehicle mode, obviously, because, you know, this doesn't look like his robot mode. That kind of looks like his robot mode, but not horribly, actually. He's got this ridiculous, huge missile thing that I'm just gonna set there. He's got his flamethrower, which is completely a flamethrower, which you saw in the opening video, or the intro, as a flamethrower, because it looks like a flamethrower. Oh, I suppose I could do a close-up of this guy. So, missile launcher. It can also do the Combiner Wars thing where it turns into a hand for either one. And I'm sure I'm going to mention this when I do the video on Superion, but I actually really kind of dig the way the design of this, the engineering of this is pretty awesome to me. Execution isn't perfect, but I really quite like the foot/hand thing that they've made for these guys. That's really cool in engineering. But figure itself, it's got a landing gear that can fold up, which I usually keep up. He's kind of got blatant robot kibble, like especially these arms, and this is like the best hidden arms of all the Combiner Wars figures that I have so far. So he very much is not a fantastic jet former, but he's okay in a jet. I decided to go with this one first because I arbitrarily decided I wanted to go with my favorite first, and I'll get into that. I'll get into why he's my favorite later. But it's a rather simplistic jet mode, got tiny, tiny wings, and that's about it. But in his packaging, he also comes with a cardboard card now, because apparently they want to do this for regular generation stuff. Nice artwork, I kind of like it, but doesn't really do much for me. But let's go ahead and, well, let's flip out his landing gear so he's standing straight. Let's show off some comparisons in vehicle mode. So here he is with the rest of the Aerialbots from Wave 1. He looks pretty decent with them, actually. It's an interesting display. I like having all these guys together. The Aerialbots have always been my favorite group for the Autobots, and to see them all like this, I'm getting a kick out of this. Oops, I forgot one of the Aerialbots now, because Powerglide is apparently now an Aerialbot. There he is. He's small. Whee! And there's a couple other comparisons I want to make for this version of Firefly. Why'd your landing gear go up? So there's Firefly. There is what the back of the box called Fireflight. Yes, I'm aware that the front of the box called him Air Raid, but that's not Air Raid in the game, and I'm okay with Fireflight being a Shockwave repaint. So I got that guy for Fireflight. And for comparison, I'm sure actually a lot of people kind of do want to see. Here he is with the TFC Toys Phantom, which was their Fireflight for Uranus. Let's go ahead and get the Fall of Cybertron one, which I kind of dig, but not amazing. So let's get him out of the way and focus on these guys. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wondering what's better between TFC and Hasbro official Superion figures, or Aerialbots. As you can see, significant size difference between what is essentially a Voyager class and a Deluxe. Also, the design is just significantly different, while obviously being similar. Undercarriage for the pair of them is significantly different, especially when I do a couple tricks that I do, like flip this down and these up to kind of hide, hey, robot mode chest and robot mode legs. Essentially, you can kind of figure out that they're supposed to be the same character, especially since they have got similar paint jobs on the wings, and I don't know, for my money they're both pretty nice. And one other size comparison I wanted to show off was Firefly with Generations Chromia, who is a retool of Prime RC, who is a rather ubiquitous mold now, so I'm hoping this is good enough for general size comparisons. You can see they're actually kind of about the same size, excluding the wings. Nice amount of mass to the pair of them. They both have about the same. And I really like this. But rather simplistic vehicle mode, so let's get them into robot mode, where I will wax satirically on how I feel about that. So, do. Alright, and here he is in robot mode, and he's got a pretty nice looking robot mode, actually. This is the reason why I decided to go with him first, because he just has the awesome quality that no matter what pose I put him in, he looks natural, imposing, and just, I think I just love the wide shoulders on him. I think I'm the sucker for that, because it makes him look like, I'm angry, or I'm powerful, or he can go, Super Saiyan. It's just a very nice looking robot mode. And I love that the kibble for the combiner aspect is like integrated so well. Like, I can't blatantly see that this is just a combiner port. I mean, I know what it is because I can see it and I recognize it, but it meshes well with the figure, so it doesn't look obvious. It's not like a I don't know, pulling off the top of my head, a sky blue peg sitting on the back of a tank or whatever. But let's go ahead and show off the comparison with this guy with the rest of the Aerialbots. Alright, so here's the rest of the Aerialbots, and this time I didn't forget to include Power Glide. And this team looks good. Granted, I don't really consider him an Aerialbot, but hey, officially, like, key part is, I guess, so he's here. But let's just go ahead and get rid of him for now, because I don't really want you in there, Power Glide. Sorry, no offense, just you're not really an Aerialbot. But the rest of the Aerialbots I rather like. These guys look good as a team together. I like them. And I guess that's all I have to say on that. And another comparison that I wanted to throw up was the Chromia comparison. So you can see he's a bit taller than Chromia now. But they still have about the same amount of mass, and they both look pretty decent together. So I like the way these guys look together. It's a decent scale, and granted, there's no way a motorcycle and a plane should be the scale together, but if you're going for robot mode scale, they're decent scaled together. So I'm okay with this scale. And the last comparison I'm sure everyone really wants to see is TFC Phantom again. So rather different in size, because, you know, Voyager versus Deluxe. And actually, I don't know which one I would recommend more. Actually, if push came to shove and somebody said, Brian, which of these two would you recommend? I think I'd probably recommend the Deluxe over Phantom, because he's significantly cheaper, and just, I don't know, there's something about the TFC figures I'm not a huge fan of. Like, they're okay, but they're okay, so they're not amazing. And given how expensive they are, being okay probably isn't all that great. So I don't really regret having Phantom, but I'm certainly not opposed to owning Firefly here. In fact, I resisted for quite a while getting these guys, because I'm like, I already have Uranus. No, scratch that. I already have Uranus, because that's what it's supposed to be, and it's funnier, and if you don't think Uranus is funny, then I'm sorry. I already had Uranus, and sorry, I'm 12 years old right now. I already had Uranus, and I'm just not, I didn't love it, but I wanted to save some money and not pick up the Aerialbots, because, to be honest, these guys don't really, like, wow me all that much, because they don't have any sort of feet whatsoever. They just have blocks they rest on. They don't have any sort of wrist articulation, and the combined mode didn't really look all that special to me, so it's like, I was resisting them. Despite the incredibly awesome proportions that this guy has. Ah, Stella! His articulation just made me, I don't know, it looked cheaper than I wanted it to be. To use a phrase that I roll my eyes at every single time I hear it, they looked cheaper. And I didn't really like that. Like, compare this guy to one of the previous deluxes from a few years ago, like, say, War for Cybertron Optimus, and he just lacks so much. So I wasn't really thrilled with it. Then again, he lacks quite a bit too. Like, he has crappy he has crappy wrists and feet too, yet was like 4 times the cost. So, either way, neither is perfect, but if you're going to go with something imperfect, he's the cheaper imperfect. So, now that I wax satirically... No, I don't think it's the right phrase. What phrase am I trying to say, guys? And one other size comparison that I almost forgot to do. There's the back of the box calling him Firefly. No, Fireflight is who the back of the box called this guy. Front of the box called him Air Raid. Back of the box called him Firefly. Still okay. I think I like this guy's head better, but this is still a glorious head. So to quickly break down his articulation, his head is on a glorious ball joint that can go up, can go, well, not down, but it can go all the way around, do whatever you want. In addition, since it's on the combiner peg post, you can pull it a bit and get some even more, like, looking forward poses, or, which I kind of find funny, give him a hunch. Like, yes, master. Yes, master. It's just rather amusing to me that you can use the combination rotation thing here to get a little bit more articulation out of him. Usually just one click is all you need. His arms are glorious because you can go up with them, you can go down with them, so you can get nice range of movement there. You've got a ball joint here which can do whatever you want. He's got a great bicep swivel, and he's got a pretty damn good elbow, but he has no wrists. I'm so sad that he has no wrist articulation. I do kind of dig that he's got these forearm guns. Like, I don't know what point they serve, but I like them. His waist works. It's set back farther than I would have expected, but hey, it works. He's got ball-jointed hips that can do whatever you want. He's got thigh swivel. He's got a 90-degree bend, and that's all his articulation. No feet or anything, like I mentioned. So it's not an amazingly articulated figure, but it's pretty darn good. He is solid. I can set him down and he is just gonna be just fine, like poking at him and not nudging him. He is just fine. Backpack's okay. Not a huge amount of kibble, but not a awful amount of kibble. I'm okay with it. Oh, for his weapons, yes. Hey, what do you know? He can hold them. You saw that already. Well, I didn't show off him holding this guy. Because this guy is just kind of... There's no real way for him to hold this. It just looks kind of dumb no matter how he holds it. Maybe underslung? Hey, missile launcher. Pew pew. So I didn't know, just put this aside. For his head sculpt, I actually really dig his head sculpt. I really dig this head sculpt. It looks... I actually really dig this head sculpt. It just looks cool to me. And the fact that it's on this glorious ball joint just... this head is awesome. So, there's my quick impressions of this guy. I dig him more than I expected him to, and I'm looking forward to where Combiner Wars is going. Not, like, perfectly. I'm not super wowed about it, but I'm intrigued. And I've got the Wave 2 on the way, which is Menasor, and I've got Wave 3, which is Defensor, pre-ordered as well. So basically I'm all in for Combiner Wars, with the exception of all the Legends figures. I don't really bother with those, because they just don't interest me all that much. I bought Power Glide on a whim, and it's Power Glide, so I'm like, I'll pick them up, but like you might have noticed, I don't bother displaying him with part of the Aerialbots, because it's not really an Aerialbot to me. So basically my overall thoughts on this guy is that I didn't expect to like him, but I rather do, because he's got a good look to him. He just looks good. Not amazing, and especially it's like something that's in person that it comes off to me better than it did in videos or in pictures. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of him. Tell me what you think of him down in the comments, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.